Name's Broke Boy. Did you know that I recently watched the movie Yes Man? You might have heard of it. It's a Jim Carrey movie from 2008, and the plot is the guy decides to say yes to every opportunity that's presented to him to. This is supposed to somehow make his life more exciting, I guess, and just allow him to accept more opportunities. And some people they say like when a man says yes to life, life says yes to him. And of course, things don't always work out perfectly like they do in the movies, but and this in the wrong hands could be a tool of destruction for people with less than favorable intentions if we say it like that. But this is an interesting philosophy that essentially it boils down to just being more open to things and putting yourself out there. And upon watching the movie, it makes you actually want to try doing it. But like I said, of course we can't be saying yes to absolutely everything because that would be insane. So essentially, it does just boil down to trying to do more things. But I am going to I guess I am going to try doing this, at least for a little while. I don't know how long, but the movie is so convincing. It makes you want to actually try it. And I realized that I never want to do anything, so what would happen if I actually did it? So I think I am going to try doing this, and we're going to see how it goes. But I have made a few rules because, like I said, I can't be saying yes to absolutely everything because that would be insane. So I'm going to go over the current rules that I have, I guess. And if I feel like it, maybe I'll make more videos talking about my experience doing this. Even though, like, not that anybody cares, but I'll just do it for fun. So, my rules for this experiment. Rule number one. Oh, wait, actually. Okay, we'll skip the first three rules for purposes of this video since people don't know that much about me. Rule number four. I will not do anything that could pose a significant threat to my health. Now, this is pretty self explanatory why I wouldn't want to do that. So, yeah. And, yeah. Wait, I forgot. Okay. Yeah, okay. Whatever. We'll work this out. Rule number five. I will not break rules unless I feel like it, and people are like, "Oh man, this guy's no fun," which is true, absolutely. I would consider myself to be a rule abider. I don't want to do anything that could get me in trouble with the law, or even not the law, just whatever authorities are in charge of a certain, like detachment. Um, yeah, so basically just don't want to do stuff that's not against the rules. The rules are very important. There are rules right now that that's what I'm talking about. Unless the exception would be that it's a very small thing that's not really taken seriously and I also feel like it because I'm not going to just because then anyone could just say, "Oh, well, no one does this and it's fine." But I still might not be comfortable with that. So, yeah. And that kind of ties into rule number 6, which is I will not do things that could involve me getting into trouble. By trouble, I mean with like trouble, you know. I don't mean just like a vague general trouble, like in the future, like you could generate some explanation for how this could cause trouble. I mean, like, you got in trouble in some way, like you probably with some other people or some kind of authority organization. Rule number 7 is I will not act inappropriately with or be rude to people. And this was created as a result of this. I'll say rule number 8, this kind of ties in. I will not waste people's time by doing or saying ridiculous things, or by doing, and I will not do things that could result in someone's time being wasted by them having to help me. So, I don't want to become like a YouTube prankster and be like, oh, I'm going to go up to these people and then smack them in the face and then I'm going to give them the Band-Aid or something. Like something stupid like that. I don't want people to be like, hey, do you want to go up to those random people and ask them this insanely stupid question? No, I don't want to do that because that's just stupid. There isn't really a point in that. And that's the thing. I don't want to do completely pointless things, and it's difficult with that phrase because people could always say that anything has a point. They could always generate some explanation for how something has a point. They're like, oh, well, doing that random prank will increase your confidence, and it's like, oh, okay, well now there's a point, but no, let's just not do that. Let's just act like civilized human beings, like. Okay. Also, with rule number 9, I will not remove my clothes because I still want to have some bodily autonomy here. Number 10, and this is the biggest rule, and some people are probably not going to like this rule very much because they're going to be saying, oh, that defeats the purpose. So at this point, we don't even have to call it yes man anymore, okay? Like, yes man is too like exaggerated of a description of this. It's really not a yes man if we're thinking about it. It's just me saying yes to more things. Okay, it's more things. It's not saying yes to anything. I'm still allowed to use my judgment here. I'm still allowed to have some preferences here. So this is not really a yes man experiment, if you can say that. It's more of a just me being more open experiment, which I was inspired by the movie Yes Man. But I'm not going to go fully into it like that. So rule number 10, and this is probably the most important rule. You're probably going to groan upon hearing this, because it sounds like it's going to be me making an excuse for not doing anything, but I do think this is necessary. This is basically just logic. I reserve the right to refuse any action, especially those that don't seem to have much of a purpose and or involve potential humiliation, injury, could cause a disturbance, or do not have specific rules preventing them but seem like they should not be done, such as climbing a random fence, eating food off the floor, stuff like that. This is to prevent stupid stuff like that really has no point, but then people could make up a point, obviously. I also reserve the right to refuse anything that sounds completely absurd or goes against my principles, such as witchcraft. So, this is to account for what I just said, and also to account if there's some completely random thing that I didn't think of, but then I realized, no, I'm not going to do this, or I can't do this. This is so I have a rule in there saying that. And number 11 also, I reserve the right to add to and or change any of these rules. Rule number 12, I will not complete video games unless I feel like doing so. Yeah, okay. Rule number 13, if I am told to play a video game and I fail on the same stage 5 times, I will not play it anymore unless it is with someone else, because I'm not going to waste my entire day playing some random game that I don't even care about. Rule number 14. At no point will I enter into a stage where I can say genuinely I have a girlfriend. Rule number 15. I will not do things that could be considered sexual or explicitly are sexual unless I feel like it, which I'm only saying in response to the potential objection that you could say that you consider anything sexual. So I'm only adding that last part because it's like if someone says, "Oh, you're doing something that could be considered sexual," because you could consider anything sexual. But I'm going to use like some logic here in these scenarios. Rule number 16: I will not drink alcohol or eat or drink anything containing alcohol unless I feel like it. Now this kind of goes into my principles again, and some people might not like that, but that's just how I'm choosing to live my life. I haven't actually had any alcohol, if you can believe that, and I don't want this to be a sort of interrupter to that. I still do not feel like I have a need for it or a particular desire for it. So for now, we're just not going to do that. Rule number 17: I will not drink coffee because I don't need to drink coffee. Yeah, that's kind of the same vein as rule number 16. And rule number 18 is also the same. I will not chew gum. Rule number 19: people have to directly ask me to do something in order for me to agree to it. So this is like, I'm not going to just go through my email and then look at every single opportunity and be like, yes, 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 which is kind of what you did in the movie. But no, I'm not doing that. If people want me to do something, then they have to directly ask me in order for me to have a chance at wanting to do it. It's not even going to be like an opportunity on a group chat. Hey, who wants to do this? I'm not going to jump in. They have to specifically ask me. Oh, I should probably add a rule. Okay. Rule number 23. When I get after rule number 21 and 22. Rule number 21. I reserve the right to refuse the request to participate in a solo activity that I have to do more often than 3 times a week and 30 minutes per day. So this means if the activity is 4 times a week and fewer minutes per day, or fewer days and more minutes, I'm still not going to do it. It has to be 3 times a week, 30 minutes a day. If you want to go any less than that, it has to be 2 times a week, 30 minutes a day, or something like that. Unless I actually feel like doing it. And to get around that, then if a person wants me to do something more, then they have to do it with me. Because you're not just going to tell me to do anything by myself and then not even do it with me, or because then I'm just going to be like, no, this is stupid. This is to avoid situations such as accepting the invitation to play solitaire by myself every day. Because someone could be like, hey, do you want to play this game every day? Like, if someone's like a troll, and I've met a lot of those in my lifetime, it takes one to know one. So, I don't want someone to be like, hey, you want to play this for 10 hours every day? No, I'm not doing that. That's stupid. So, rule number 22, if people tell me to participate in a solo activity, they cannot tell me not to listen to music while doing so, unless the activity specifically requires that I not listen to music, and you can't just make it require that by saying something like, the activity is this activity without music or sound free or something. This is so if someone actually gets a bright idea of saying something stupid like, hey, play solitaire three times a week, 30 minutes each day, which would be like the max. If I'm doing more than that, then screw my life at that point. At least let me listen to music while doing that. So it's like, okay, 30 minutes. I mean, I guess it's not that long, you know. Rule number 23. I'm adding. I just thought of this now. I will not waste people's time. Well, I said it before with the saying stupid stuff, but I will not waste people's time by accepting invitations to participate in things that I am not qualified to do. So this is like if someone says, hey, we need someone to sing in our band. I'm not going to say yes because I don't have any experience singing. So that would just be wasting the person's time. On the other hand, if someone was like, hey, do you want to come to karaoke? Then I would probably have to say yes to that because you don't need any sort of actual experience for that. So Yes, these are the rules. I guess I'm doing this. Hope I don't know. It's an experiment to see how things go. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. The guy with no interests actually does stuff, even though I doubt it will be that interesting. But yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Hopefully, I don't end up hating my life. And yeah, all right. Let's think of a cool phrase to say at the end. Um, hold on. Let me just stop the video and then. Oh wait, what was that?